Green tea and black tea are often treated as two completely different drinks. One is seen as light and healthy, the other as strong and traditional. But despite the difference in color, flavor, and reputation, green tea and black tea come from the exact same plant. The difference between them is not the leaf itself, it is what happens to the leaf after it is picked. Both green and black tea are made from the leaves of the Camellia sinensis plant. If you were standing in a tea field, you would not be able to tell which leaves would become green tea and which would become black tea. The transformation happens during processing, and the key factor is oxidation. Oxidation is a chemical reaction that occurs when the compounds inside the tea leaf react with oxygen. As soon as tea leaves are harvested, oxidation begins naturally. The question is not whether oxidation happens, but how much of it is allowed to occur. Green tea is made by stopping oxidation almost immediately. After harvesting, the leaves are quickly heated, either by steaming or pan-firing, depending on regional tradition. This heat deactivates the enzymes responsible for oxidation. As a result, the leaves retain their green color and much of their original plant-like character. The flavor of green tea tends to be lighter, fresher, and sometimes grassy or vegetal, because the leaf's natural compounds remain largely unchanged. Black tea follows the opposite path. After harvesting, the leaves are intentionally allowed to oxidize fully. They are rolled or crushed to expose more surface area, then left in a controlled environment where oxygen can react with the leaf. During this process, the leaves darken from green to brown to black. Oxidation changes the chemical structure of the leaf, producing new flavor compounds. This is why black tea tastes bolder, richer, and sometimes malty or smoky. The color of the brewed tea also deepens as oxidation progresses. The difference in oxidation also affects caffeine and antioxidants, but not always in the way people expect. Black tea is often assumed to have far more caffeine, but the actual difference depends on the type of leaf, how it is brewed, and how much tea is used. In many cases, the caffeine levels overlap. What does change more noticeably is the type of antioxidants present. Green tea retains higher levels of catechins, while black tea contains more complex compounds formed during oxidation. Neither is inherently superior. They simply offer different chemical profiles. Culture plays a major role in how these teas are perceived. In East Asia, green tea became dominant because early processing techniques favored minimal oxidation. In Europe and parts of South Asia, black tea became more common because fully oxidized leaves traveled better over long distances without spoiling. What began as a practical decision eventually shaped taste preferences and traditions. This is why tea culture varies so dramatically across regions. The plant stayed the same. The processing changed. It is also why green tea and black tea are not opposites. They are endpoints on a spectrum. Between them lie oolong teas, which are partially oxidized and display characteristics of both. Tea is not a single product, but a controlled transformation of leaves. Once you understand that, the difference between green and black tea becomes much clearer. It is not about health versus indulgence or mild versus strong. It is about how much of the leaf's natural chemistry was allowed to change before the tea reached your cup. Green tea preserves the leaf's original state. Black tea embraces transformation. And both exist because people learn to guide oxidation in different ways. If you enjoyed this explanation, the next story explores another everyday drink whose color hides a much simpler process than it appears. Click on the channel to discover more untold stories behind simple things.